Well, it's very clear that economic liberalization in China has far outpaced political liberalization. The Communist Party continues to be the dominant political player in China, and Xi Jinping has only further centralized that and clamped down on political and civil liberties in the last few years. Media controls on civil society have increased very substantially. There will come a point in the future, though nobody knows when, where that kind of single-party system with heavy controls on the media and information flows and civil society will constrain economic liberalization. China talks about wanting to develop an innovation-led economy, and the only way for innovation to be a driver of growth in China is for there to be free flow of information, free flow of ideas, and that can't come about under the sort of current heavy political controls in China. And it's unclear how China is going to be able to balance or ultimately resolve this contradiction. 2017 is a big year in Chinese politics. It's one of the biggest in a decade, if not longer, because in the fall of next year, the Chinese Communist Party is going to have their party congress. This is the political event that happens every 5 years in which they change seats. And so if past practice is an indicator of future behavior, 5 of the 7 guys at the top will retire and they will have to be replaced. That's a 70% turnover. And then the 18 Politburo members below those 7, there will be a very substantial change. Upwards of maybe 60% of those 18 seats are going to change hands. So we're going to see a big turnover in the Chinese political system. And with that comes the prospect of policy change. My view is it's more of a mystery than a secret. Nobody really knows how this is all going to play out. The backroom jockeying in Beijing is really only getting underway now. And clearly Xi Jinping's top priority is to consolidate his political authority, carry out his top policy objectives, which include things like anti-corruption and generating more momentum in his economic reform program to rebalance the Chinese economy. The other big aspect of the political change next year is the fact that we may begin to see who the successors to Xi Jinping and Li Keqiang are going to be. In other words, who's going to lead China in 2021 after the next party congress. And that will be really important as we try to understand what China's future trajectory is, because there are so many dilemmas they face, like this tension between the need for economic liberalization and the lack of political liberalization. Well, the 6th generation of leaders are different in terms of their formative experiences. In other words, the current set of leaders grew up during the Cultural Revolution, which was a time of political chaos in China. The 6th generation of leaders grew up during the 1980s, which was the heyday of reform and opening. And they have seen China prosper since then. So their formative experiences are China integrating more with the world, China being more open to ideas and information, and China prospering. And the question is how does that shape their views about what should happen in China, and then what kind of role China should play globally? And that's a big open question. And I don't think we'll really begin to understand that for another 5 years, if not longer.